Hello and welcome to another edition of the Spiritual Medicine Digest. My name is Dr. Karen Kan and I'm the founder of the Academy of Light Medicine and the TOLPAKAN Healing Method. So this week I want to talk to you about cleaning house. Now, do I mean this literally or figuratively? Well, metaphorically, both, all of it, all of the above. So in the past, I have been very resistant to cleaning and clearing my space. Call me Mrs. Clutter, whatever. It was just the last thing on my to-do list. Now, I would make myself feel guilty, unfortunately, because all the stuff was piling up and it just seemed so overwhelming just looking at it. In fact, for probably 2 years, has it been 2 years? Almost 2 years. Um, yes, it has been 2 years. I have moved my office, my acupuncture office, and it was literally in the upstairs of my house, 3, 4 layers of boxes thick with really collecting dust. Because I just had so many things that I was doing, creating, stuff for my business, and that the last thing I wanted to do was to organize, clean, and clear. Now, that being said, I know that's kind of funny, right? Because as a light medicine doctor, as an energy healer, you think, aren't you constantly clearing stuff for yourself and people? Yes. And it's easier for me to clear, emotional, subconscious, or other negative patterns than it is necessarily in the past to clear my physical space. Now, that being said, when you came to my office, in the past, this is a different building, right? So when you came to my office, it looked very neat because there was only so many things I had there, and everything was put away where it's supposed to. So when you came into the office, there wasn't a lot of clutter, I felt good about that. Now, if you looked in my drawers, slightly a little bit more clutter, but generally speaking, not so much clutter. Now, I do, I don't say I do now, but in the past, I was a little bit envious of the people that had basements because I don't have a basement and I grew up with a basement. And in the basement, my parents would, organize like the winter clothes and the comforters and the extra cots and beds and luggage and all that kind of stuff in this crawl space. It was awesome. And us kids loved playing in there for whatever reason. But we had this big, huge basement and we played in this big, huge basement. We roller skated and had a swing down there. It was super fun. So when I built the house here in upstate New York, my then husband convinced me we don't need a basement, okay, because it floods around here. And I thought, well, that's probably a good idea, even though we weren't on a flooding plain. At least I didn't think we were. So we didn't have a basement, and it was all about simplicity. Now, him being who he is, my ex-husband, simplicity was his shtick. I mean, I would imagine he would be okay with, wearing the same shirt multiple times, throughout the week and only having a number, 5 pairs of pants or whatever it is, right? Me being a girly girl, not so much. So I definitely had some difficulty in the whole simplification process and felt that I was pushing myself and forcing myself into his ideal of what life should be like. And I made myself feel really guilty for not simplifying. So now that I really totally understand more who I am and how I tick and where my genius is, which is really being a creator, thanks to Wealth Dynamics, that profile test, I am a creator, I can really honor that, yeah, my tendency is to love to create. Not so much clean up the mess, but love to create. You should just see my kitchen after I do some cooking, right? So I love to create, and organizing, it's kind of like the last thing on my list. But lately, it's been really interesting. Lately, I have felt the pull, and I've been waiting for this pull for a very long time. And, asking Source for help and support and all that kind of stuff. And just realizing that forcing was not the right thing to do. Like, forcing causes us to be exhausted. Forcing causes us to feel guilty when we don't do things the way we think we should, or we don't do it in a time. We set a deadline for ourselves, and then we feel bad because we don't meet the deadline, right? Have you been there? Yeah. So I knew that with the higher consciousness and connecting with Source, that there has to be a flow if this is going to actually work. And these days, it's less about given, in my past, very much into what's right and wrong. Okay, was very religious. Now it's more like, does it work or doesn't it work? So I'm letting go of that right and wrong concept per se, because we're all going to unity, darkness, light, or yin and yang, all going to unity. So it's less about, what's absolutely right or absolutely wrong, because you could just argue and polarize all day long around those concepts, but more like, does it work? And I knew that forcing myself didn't work. So here I was waiting for inspiration, right? And, I did have some lovely human support in addition to angelic and other being support. For example, my friend Leanne Hoffer, who is the clutter consultant expert, she actually came to my house, and I think I have to admit, I did feel somewhat embarrassed. She says, don't pick up before I get there. Just leave it as it is. It's okay. And she was so sweet and amazing about it that she went through, like, nobody looks at my closets and everything like that, right? But she, I let her look at the closets and the root cellar and, upstairs and all this. And I'm going, oh God. She goes, don't feel bad. It's okay. It's okay. And she gave me some really practical ideas. So I thought, okay, I got some practical ideas, but I'm still not going to force myself to do it. She goes, no, don't force yourself, right? So just having that person, that expert, not be militant, okay, really helped me. So over time, I just saw these tiny little wins. And it was really slow at first. So I thought, well, the easiest thing to do is my closet, right? Because at that point, I had to change from winter to summer. And I thought, well, I'm just going to color coordinate the hangers. I got brand new hangers, because the cheapo in me is like, no, you got to recycle all these 50 different types of hangers that, don't fit with each other and get hooked on each other and the whole bit, right? And things fall off of it and they go to the floor and get dusty, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to buy new hangers. Woo, new hangers. So I got new hangers, the velvety type where the little straps, don't fall off. Oh my gosh, like they're the best. They're the best. So I was like, okay, I'm channeling my inner Leanne, right? So I'm organizing based on color. Before I used to be based on style. And I thought, well, okay, let's do something different. And here's another hint. It's like there's energy around flow and doing something different. So I was like, let's do it based on color. And you know what? Months have gone by and it's still organized. Yeah, I know, right? So spring has sprung here in the Northeast. And in the past, that has not helped at all with spring cleaning. I have it on my to-do list almost every year for probably the past 20 years. Okay, I'm exaggerating, maybe not 20, but a lot of years. And I didn't even put it on the list this year. No, not even put it on not putting it on my list because I'm just not going to feel guilty about not doing it. And the neat thing is that the energies right now that is going through me might be going through you as well. The sense of it feels good to clear and clean. And yes, maybe it's because I'm not talking on on Zoom or phone like for a bazillion hours a week, right? So I have like the space and time, and giving myself permission to have that creative outlet and that space, really important, okay? Because that's my genius. Otherwise, if I don't do my genius, I get frustrated and hangry and whatever, right? But this kind of other activity, which by the way, in the Wealth Dynamics profile is steel. So I'm in dynamo, which is at the top. That's the wood element in Chinese medicine. And we are kind of creative. We're the creative force, right? You go every day, you'd be like, Karen, what'd you write a book about? What would you write about? Oh, I have 5 ideas, right? Write 5 different books, right? Or courses. Oh, I have 10 ideas to write different courses, right? Like when I haven't slept at night because my ideas are going, I'll just write down. And one night I just literally wrote a whole book. I mean, it was crazy. So that's my creative genius. The steel side, okay, is more like the methodical, organized, so on and so forth. Thank goodness I have multiple team members that are good at that. 5, in fact. But I have a little bit of steel, in that wing. I have a crater, but I have a mechanic wing and I have a star wing. So the mechanic wing is a steel wing, which is metal in Chinese medicine. So I can, if I want to, do tech, be organized, that kind of thing. So the neat thing that I'm, happy to report is that I am literally cleaning house now, and it does not feel like drudgery. It does not feel like resistance. It does not feel like pulling my hair out of frustrated or tiring or exhausting at all. In fact, it feels pretty darn neutral. And so, yeah, I think I got through 2/3 of the boxes upstairs. That was my office, my acupuncture office, right? Recycling things, about a TerraCycle box to recycle stuff, um, old papers and catalogs and old charts I don't need anymore that, are past that 7-year mark. I mean, they're, in the fireplace. And some other things I've recouped. I was like, oh, that's where that is. That's where that set of headphones is, right? For the sound table. Right? So it's actually been not just neutral, but delightful to do that. And the other things, although it's not exactly related to clearing house or cleaning house, is that not necessarily out of fear, because, right now, if you look at the news, you'll see things about food shortages, gas shortages, this shortage, that shortage, and a lot of that is engineered to be so. I mean, they predicted this many years ago that, those silly conspiracy theorists, who are now like conspiracy realists, right, told us this was going to happen. So I was like, well, we'll see, and there it is. So it's not because of fear that I decided to like hoard food or grow food. I just naturally felt the desire. But here's the thing, because I know who I am, okay, if I force myself to go out and till the land and do it the old fashioned way, okay, which many people do, and more kudos to them, like my sister, right? I just knew I wouldn't do it. So technology, thankfully, and ingenuity, other people's creative genius, created systems that made it easier for those of us that don't want to put in the time to do it the traditional way. There's new devices, new like tools. It's really kind of cool. So now I'm actually enjoying, heaven forbid, enjoying gardening. Did not enjoy that 6 hours it took to clean the garden, hydroponic system, because we had algae and live and learn, right? But now we're good. But it's great to experience some of this house cleaning and homesteading, if you will, which my ex-husband wanted to do, 20 something years ago, and I just wasn't ready for it. And just that whole forcing thing that I made myself do was just like not good. Fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue, the whole bit, right? Adrenal fatigue, just, yeah, don't force yourself. But now I think this is a natural energy and flow that we are stepping into. So you may have felt this already, that desire to clean and clear your space, physical space, but if not physical, it might be energetic, right? So you may have felt that need to clear out old relationships that no longer serve you or that annoy you, or to clear out negative thoughts and beliefs and subconscious patterns and all these kinds of things that no longer serve you. And so streamlining and quote unquote simplifying, your existence, if you will. Because at the end of the day, with everything that's going on in the world, people are actually naturally gravitating back, I believe, to that space where it's more high touch. Not to say that it's, we're getting away from high tech. High tech's still good. I love tech, but it's more high touch, meaning like, the earth and gardening and nature and all those kinds of things. Now, it's funny because Tamara Joy Patterson used to say to me when I first, got together with her, one of my first mentors related to entities and things like that. She says, well, you're like so close to earth. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm like the person that goes, ooh, spider, But it's changed. When she said that, I was like, what is she talking about? But then I found out that often I would be proxying for Mother Earth, really running Mother Earth's energies and doing automatic healing for Mother Earth. So even though I was like a city girl, I was actually really energetically close to Mother Earth, and I've grown to honor that relationship, and honor, the Earth as a being, just like another person, just like I honor you as another person. And so all of us are going through this cleaning stage, if you will, cleaning house stage. Again, remember, it's not about forcing, it's about flow. And part of the reason I think that it's happening for me right now is that in addition to constantly doing TOLPAKAN healing every single day for myself and for others that I have permission to do healing on, I'm learning dimensional therapy with my mentor Marcus Bird, so doing some of his and my TOLPAKAN healing together. I'm also in a Dreamweaving Loom. I don't know if you're into that sacred economy stuff, and that's pretty new for me, but just being accountable to these wonderful, beautiful people every single day and supporting each other in our dreams and everything like that, things started just kind of automatically shifting in me. So I didn't have to struggle. I didn't have to force myself to do things that were good for me, that I knew years ago that I should do, but just didn't feel like doing it. So I think that all these things are increasing flow in my life. And that's my hope for you too, is that you catch on to this flow as well. And again, just looking at sometimes little things. Like I said, I started with my closet, color coordinating, you know, in the winter. And, then I went to a cupboard. And even though I knew I could do it a little bit at a time, right? For me, I was just like, nope, I got to do 4 hours at the time, right? In the past. But now it's sort of like, oh, well, sometimes you have to buy something, Karen, So I actually bought like this little like cupboard cabinet thingy, for the bathroom. And the way the house is structured, it was an interesting shape and design, thanks to my ex-husband and myself, thinking we knew what we were doing. There's no towel rack in the bathroom. So so we had this, the drying rack things, well, the towels were so heavy, it broke the thing. And we duct taped it together. Yes, we duct taped it together. I mean, some of you are like, wait a second, you're a medical doctor. Don't you people have money? Why are you duct taping, a towel rack together? Because those things weren't important to me. You know what I mean? Duct tape is awesome. But you know what? Finally got rid of that this week and bought a metal, I guess it's like a clothes hanger thing, like extra clothes that you could put. Anyway, so we're using that as a towel rack. And I got to tell you, it just opened up that space. I can actually get into my drawers. Well, my drawers that I've got from my office that aren't really drawers, they're plastic Tupperware. Anyway, so yeah, my home is kind of a mishmash of interesting furniture, and it's not my dominant thing, like making the house beautiful. Other people are really good at that stuff, but it was amazing, just that opening in that space. It just feels different. So that gets me more excited. So yes, if you look at my upstairs, it still looks like a hurricane hit it. However, just the feeling that I get though, as weeks go by, I'm just not as impatient with myself. I'm not as upset with myself. I'm going more with that flow and that natural wish to really be closer to nature, but also clearing house. So what we want to do today, if you want to play, is let's do a TOLPAKAN healing activation for you that may help you step into that space of cleaning house and removing any resistance or have to, shoulda, should, deadline, that kind of energy away from you, so you can, embrace life in a different way, in a different flow. So if you're ready to do this with me and it's safe for you to do so, you can close your eyes. If you'd like to get into the stillness with me in the 0 point field, you can rub your hands together and then close your eyes. Feel the energy emanating from your hands. This is called stillness through observing internal movement. You can keep your eyes closed, and I'm just going to say the TOLPAKAN healing directive, and your job is just to feel what's moving in your body. Here we go. I now command that anything that can clear that no longer serves you physically, mentally, emotionally, energetically, dimensionally, relationally, be clean, cleared, and healed in all timelines where you exist with ease, speed, and grace in the highest and best way. And that all things causing resistance and reactivity be deleted, dissolved, and uncreated with ease, speed, and grace too. Thank you. Part 2 is now commanded that the flow of life and that positive morphic field of being able to feel the flow and act in the flow and naturally wish to clean and clear your space, either inside you or outside of you, whatever that is, those positive morphic fields be downloaded and activated with you, with everyone that you connect to when allowed, with ease, speed, and grace in the highest and best way in all timelines where you exist. Thank you. So you can open your eyes, take a breath in, feel your body. I would love to know after the activation what that felt like for you. And also, please put in the comments what that felt like, as well as have you been feeling that call to clean and clear, whether your internal space, your relationships, your money stuff, your home. Like, I'm just curious to see whether or not this is a big trend that's going on. My suspicion is that it is. So I'd love to get your feedback on that. So some announcements for this week on Light Warrior Radio. I have the lovely Melissa Mayer with me, and here's a woman who donated a kidney to her husband and had a transformative experience afterwards. So she's going to be talking about that experience and her book, Recovering My True Self. She's a holistic physical therapist for many, many years, and also Buddhist, and has a lot of background in spirituality as well. So she's going to put that all together for us and then share her amazing story. So I think you might be uplifted and feel inspired by listening. So that's at 12 noon and it is live. So if you want to ask her a question, you can by calling in. So I'm going to put in the link near this video, 12 noon, Monday the 16th, and at 2 p.m., same day, I'm actually going to be interviewed on a radio show as well, and it's called Voice Rising and Om Times Radio, and it is hosted by Kara Johnstad. Now, I'm pretty excited to be on this radio show because Om Times Radio is, well, it's kind of big wig stuff. I just saw who was last interviewed there, Stephen Dinan of the Shift Network. I'm like, whoa, wow, cool. So if you'd like to join me live, I'll put that link near this video as well. It's going to be 2 p.m. Eastern that she's going to be interviewing me. And then the flow workshop, I want to make sure that you know that that's happening on Thursday, the 19th, from 12 to 4, so that's Eastern, so 12 to 4 p.m. Eastern, with me and my coach, Trey Stinnett. And I got so much out of the whole wealth dynamic system, which is why I was talking about it earlier. So during this workshop, not only will you get to know exactly where you are in the wealth dynamics profile, one of the 8, I'm a creator, you'll actually understand where you are in the wealth lighthouse as well and what your next step is to abundance. Because some people want to go from the bottom of the wealth lighthouse to like 3 levels up or 4 levels up, which is where I was trying to do like many years ago and completely fell flat on my face trying to do it because I had all these great ideas, but I didn't have enough people to connect with. I didn't have that trust in the marketplace, those kinds of marketing words. But, Trey breaks it down very simply, and he's the #1 North American coach for the wealth dynamic system. And I've gotten so much out of it. I want to share with you guys. And I got a great deal. Normally the workshop's $270, and he brought it down to $97 for my tribe. So if you're listening to this, the coupon code is Karen Can, all capitals, all one word, Karenkan, and you can get it for $97. So there is a max number of students of 75, and then there's other students that may be coming in from elsewhere. So I just want to make sure that you have that registration link or that cart link, and make sure you can see the $97. And if you have trouble, you can just email support@karenkan.com. But I want you to be part of that if you are into abundance. Okay. And unless you're, consistently earning 6-7 figures, you may or may not need that. Okay. If you're doing that, but if you aspire to, and you feel abundant, and you would like to know kind of like the practicalities, like what's my next step, this is a great workshop to do. So it's the flow workshop with Trey and myself. I'll be a student there. So, I've done this workshop a number of times, but it never gets old because I learn something new each time. Yes, so I'll put that link again near this video so you can get the link, coupon code. Other announcements I want to share with you is that my Healthy Habits, Healthy Life video series is ongoing for the next, at least till the end of the year. And the one I did last weekend was on pyramids. How do I use the pyramid shape as a healthy habit? Find out. I'll put that link near this video. Also, a reminder, 2 reminders. Number 1 is the Ascension 3 store is open for a couple more days. It closes Monday the 16th at 11 a.m. So if you haven't had a chance to grab, an Ascension 3 product, we still have some pyramids left, which are kind of like a high value item because there's so much power in these pyramids for activating your self-healing and doing TOLPAKAN healing on yourself automatically. We also have a new shungite collection, which we put on sale. So I hope you like those. And then the 3R formula, there's drops, and then there's the silicone bracelet as well for those that are outside North America. The drops are incredibly handy for flu-y type symptoms as well as energetic detoxification. If you look at the energies that are infused in there, it will make sense to you why it is so helpful lately. That's what I can say about that. So the ascension3.net is where you can go to the store. And again, we're closing for another month until June. So we're closing Monday at 11 a.m. And the other announcement is that my friend Jeff Gignac and his Life Response Frequencies, the Infinite Possibilities version, is still on sale through May 30th. So again, there is a coupon code for this. I'll put that link in the bottom. So in case you would like, automatic energy healing for you every single week, as well as mini healings with his audios, which I use pretty much every day. Yeah, definitely get that now because it's only on sale once a year. And I got a good deal for us. All right, so that's the Spiritual Medicine Digest for this week. I hope this resonates with you, and if you haven't already done so, go ahead and subscribe to my channel and give it a thumbs up if you like this video, and feel free to share with anyone who you think might benefit from this. Until next week, lots of love and bye for now. Happy house cleaning.